Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Duchess Braids here, and today we have my beautiful baby girl Emerson in my chair. And as you can tell from the multiple thumbs down, she is not feeling getting her hair done today, but that's okay because we're still gonna do it. So to get started, we have her hair freshly washed and blown out, and this is how her hair looks after washing it and blowing it out. It has been growing tremendously, and I'm loving how healthy and beautiful it looks. We're gonna go in with the Duchess Braids precision comb on the pintail end, and we're gonna do the infamous middle part that I always start with because we want some precision over here, and we're always going to start with a middle part. All right, so after I'm done with the middle part, I'm going to go from ear to ear, and I'm going to part a little bit behind her ear for this one because we're aiming for 2 buns at the top. And this style that I'm doing today is inspired by Precious Kids on Instagram. So if you guys aren't already following her, I highly recommend following her for a really beautiful kids braid style. I did switch up a little bit of the style but for the most part, this style is inspired by one of her braid styles. So I'm going to go ahead and part from ear to ear. I'm cleaning that part up, and today I'm using the Pure O gel. This gel has been a staple for me, and I'm really enjoying using this gel as my #1 braid gel. You guys know I do use a few, however this one has been super consistent, and I have a huge jar of it, so I'm not moving on from it until that jar is finished, and it's not even halfway yet. I went ahead and parted on the other side to meet up in the middle, so from the other ear to the other ear. So we now have about 4 different sections in her head, and we're going to need those 4 sections because now I'm going to go in the middle of one side, and I'm going to part like a half a circle on one side of the part, and I'm going to go in and part the other half of the circle on the other side. So we just want a little small circle in the center because we're going to align all our braids on this half of her head to meet up into that circle. So this is a very important part. You don't necessarily need it, but it does make things a lot easier when braiding. Whenever you're braiding into any type of bun or any type of ponytail, you kind of do need that little first circle braid to give your braid some space and room to finish off near the circle, if you guys get what I'm saying. So I went ahead and braided that out the way, and we're just gonna tuck that, and then we're gonna do the same exact thing on the other side. Yeah, and I like to just clip those out the way with those crocodile clips and go in on the other side. And I did the same exact thing. I tried to make it as symmetrical as possible. You do want to pay attention to that. And when it's done, that's already looking so cute, guys. And this is how it's supposed to look. It looks even, it looks equal, and that's where my 2 buns are going to end up. So now I'm going to start with some braids that's going to fall forward into her face. Lately I've been doing like 2 braids falling into her face, but on opposite ends. In this style, they're both going to fall on the same side, and I must say, like, that change made a major difference in how she wears her hair. Like, it doesn't bother me with the hair being a little bit in her face, but when I split them up and have them on either side, it normally bothers her, and she doesn't even let them last with the beads because it's just too much in her face. But putting them off to the side like this, doing both braids off to the side like this, really made a difference with how she's able to keep that style, and it just doesn't bother her as much. It's very visible that this does not bother her like when I do other braid styles. And as I'm braiding, I'm not really paying attention to stitching, guys, because again, we're tussling. I cut out a lot of the fighting in this video, but she does not like when I do the stitch braids on her, so I opt not to do it. But the way my nails are set up and how I braid, they tend to look stitched anyways, so I figured the style will still look great without like actually stopping in and taking the time out to do the stitch braiding. So I just went ahead and just braided like normal, and it turned out like they were stitched, but I really didn't take the time to stitch any of the braids. So the first braid on the side next to her ear, we're gonna make it into a swoop going up to that little circle in the middle. So all of our braids on this side is going to meet up into that circle. And as I'm going up, you do have to kind of pay attention to how I'm curving the braids. It's gonna go a little bit fast, but if you're able to just catch a glimpse of how I'm curving the braids, and you'll be able to duplicate this style as well. All right, so I went ahead and did a similar style on the other side. So I curved the braids up, and then once I got to the top, I just kind of started doing some curves. Like, this is really a look and see type of thing. I can't really explain in details exactly what I'm doing, but if you're able to kind of just watch and see how this style is formed, that would be easier than me trying to tell you how it's done. All right, so I'm at the top, and as you can see, you have a better view of how these braids are curving, and I'm trying to line it up so that they're equal on both sides, or we have the equal amount of braids going into the little middle circle. But for the back part, that's going to change because the way I do the back is different. And when I first saw this style on Precious Kids braid site, I just thought the back was so cute, but it was a complete change from what the front was. I almost didn't do the back like this because of how different it is from how the front looked. But either way, it just turned out so cute. So I went ahead and parted across the back, and I'm enjoying parting or braiding across the back of her head because her hair is almost always in a ponytail, and with the ponytail, the back tends to break a little bit. So I'm glad that I'm able to give the back of her hair a break into some braids. And I'm going to continue to try to keep up with braiding her hair as much as possible because I don't want the end or the back of her hair to continue to break. I do want it to grow out to be the same length as the rest of her hair. But her hair being in ponytails, sometimes that does break the ends. And so I want you guys to know that if you're struggling with that, that it's probably because of the ponytail or maybe how they're sleeping on the back of their head. There are just so many things that could break the back, but keeping it in braids, I do feel like helps it not break and just helps it grow. So we're gonna try our best. As you guys can see, I mean, I'm not showing you guys too much struggling going on, but we struggle when it comes to braiding her hair a little bit. So for the most part, her hair tends to be in like buns and like ponytails and stuff like that until we have some time and energy to actually braid it down. So I'm going across from her left side to the right side, and I'm meeting up into the center. circle braid with these, and I'm doing about 6 braids going straight across like this. Like I said, it's such a complete different from the style in the front, but it turned out so beautifully. So the braids in the back did not end up being equal, going equally over into the braids in the in the circle. I believe it was like one or two short. One side was more braids than the other side. However, I mean, it did not make a difference or too big of a difference with her bun. But as you can see, I braided going over to one side, and once I got to the top, I started braiding those braids at the top to meet up on the other side. So now that her hair is almost complete, I'm gonna go ahead and make the bun. And you don't have to make a bun with this. You can easily put this in 2 ponytails and put some beads on it, and that would be a beautiful style. But we're just gonna throw this into a bun, pretty much because one, I just don't have enough beads. She doesn't care for too much beads either. So if I don't want to see the beads line all over my floors, it's just best sometimes to just throw it into a bun and put some of these, everyone calls them different things. My husband calls them, what does he call them? I'm gonna have to ask him, but we call them bobos, and he calls them cackle something. Let me go find out. Hold on. Yeah, so he calls them Clucker-balls, and the first time I heard him say that, I was like, "What are you talking about?" But he's from down south, so that's probably what they call them. But this is the finished look, guys. Look how beautiful. I went ahead and put some beads in the 2 braids in the front, and as you can see, it's really out of her face. It's not like too much in her face, and she's been wearing these. She didn't mess with the beads at all. Normally the beads are out day one. She'll pull them right out, but she left these hanging and she's been rocking them, and this is how the style turned out. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Everything will be linked in the description or in the video, so take a look at those. Whatever I used in this video will be linked. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like the video if you do, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.